Now, to clarify, I have nothing against Sasha Calle or her performance as Supergirl in the Flash movie. I thought it was perfectly fine. But regardless of how I feel about it, she shouldn't return to the DCU as Supergirl to any capacity, like whatsoever. And a part of me does feel kind of bad for her, considering the fact that she just absolutely carried the press tour for the Flash movie, considering that the main star is a freaking psychopath. And she seemed really passionate about the role, and everyone knows that famous clip of her reaction to Andy Muschietti telling her that she got the role.
All right. Do you want to fly?
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay. Well, then maybe you will need this. You know what this is?
What?
You're Supergirl.
Wow, this is such a sweet video. She's so passionate. Wow, so happy. But yeah, you still gotta get the hell up out of here. It's kind of surprising to me seeing other people surprised on social media about, oh man, they should have kept her, based on this like rumor from Daniel RPK saying that they're in the casting process for Supergirl and Superman Legacy, meaning that obviously Sasha Calle wouldn't return, that they'd get a new actress. I mean, this is following the events in which a Variety article came out a while back saying how every single Justice League member is gonna get recast, including Jason Momoa's Aquaman, which then was corroborated by Jason Momoa himself on Jimmy Fallon. Like, if the character ain't Peacemaker, Blue Beetle, or Amanda Waller, there's like a 90% chance that character is gonna get recast. I mean, look at someone like Maxwell Lord from 1984 is being played by Sean Gunn. And it just makes the most sense to recast Supergirl regardless of how you feel about Sasha Calle's performance in the Flash movie, as it's just, for simplicity's sake, you have that version associated with David Cornsweet's Superman. You need a new face make sure that it's not too complicated, because I feel like having her in the DCU was like, it's a completely different Superman, completely different Batman and universe. It probably would confuse general audiences and maybe even comic fans alike. And even though they never interacted, I would always you should always associate with Sasha Calle's Supergirl. That's Henry Cavill's Supergirl. That's Henry Cavill's cousin right there. You know what I'm saying? We need Corn Sweat, era, you feel me? And I've also seen a couple people getting mad at the idea or not liking the idea of Supergirl being played by a white girl instead of another Latina actress, being replaced with like blonde hair, seeing as a bland casting. And it's like, you are never gonna guess what she looks like in the comic books. I know it's insane. Also, it wouldn't be smart on WB or DC Studios' part to have any remnants of the Flash movie, as it's notoriously known for being the biggest flop out of any comic book movie. Well, until the Marvels came out, but still, it's still easily the worst performing DC modern film, and serves as a reminder for a lot of the issues or things that went wrong with the DCEU in terms of its continuity and its portrayal of the Flash, and just how much of a mess that universe was. I wouldn't want any key reminders of that. Not to mention that any significant plans with Sasha Calle's iteration of the character was the plans of like Walter Hamada and like the previous regime of Warner Media way before Discovery even came in. There's nothing really spectacular about Supergirl in the Flash movie. Like I said earlier, like I have nothing against it, but like I don't think it was so amazing that she just has to stay for the DCU. Contrary to that, she did have a little screen time, so it wasn't really fair to see how well she could have portrayed the character if given like a better script or like, a fair amount of screen time and dealing with what that character is actually about. I mean, I guess there's somewhat of a chance she could come back, as like this isn't something confirmed from Gunn or DC Studios. This is just coming from like a scooper, but most likely I think this is the route they're gonna go, regardless if she shows up in Legacy or not. I just think it's the best way for the future of the DC brand to just recast most characters, including Supergirl, and her showing up in Legacy wouldn't be an issue, as I'm most likely it's just gonna be like a cameo role. I don't think she's gonna have a big role in the movie. I think it's just to solidify the fact that she does exist in this universe. She's out and about, maybe it ties in with the plot some way, but it's going to be a short cameo most likely, leading into her own solo movie with Woman of Tomorrow. And with just like Cornsweet Superman, I think the best way to go about it is to cast a lesser known or more unknown actress for the role. I think it just kind of works out for a lot of these like big superheroes in the DCU, as it pushes for more longevity with that said actor, and you don't have to worry about like scheduling conflicts or like an over blooming budget, kind of like what Marvel Studios is doing with Fantastic Four. I don't know what they're doing over there. It seems like they have this really big issue of wanting to get really big actors like Pedro Pascal for Reed Richards. I really hope that doesn't happen. I don't think y'all understand how much I dislike that casting, my god, but that's a whole different thing. To any like Sasha Calle Supergirl fans, I'm sorry, but like we can't have her stay on. She's just way too connected to Henry Cavill's like Kryptonian heritage and origin story and like that universe as a whole. It's just, I don't think would translate well to the DCU, but hey, she did fine the role. But reboot, new face, this is how it is.